Doing it's Tim Shurr here with Shurr Success Seminars and Indie Hypnosis, and I wanted to jump on real quick and give you a magic spell to help you lose weight more easily. You see, a lot of times I'll ask people, how you feeling? And they say, you know what? Honestly, I'm tired of feeling like crap. I'm so fatigued all the time and I need to lose weight, but I don't feel motivated and I don't want to really exercise. And I know it's New Year's resolution time, but it just feels like it's so hard and I'm addicted to sugar. And if I even look at a piece of cake, I seem to gain 5 pounds and it's just so frustrating. And I'm not sleeping well and I feel stressed out. And these are things that I hear. I could walk into a crowd and throw a rock and it would land on someone who would be saying the same thing. It just seems like because we have so much abundance and excess in America that we are just constantly eating ourselves into being sick, right? So I just got back from a week at Disney World. And if you've ever done that, you know, it's like just a marathon every single day, and we were up early and we were up late and then we did it again and we did it again and we did it like 7 days in a row. And it was a little exhausting. However, it was also a lot of fun. And one of the things that I noticed is that because there was so much food everywhere, people were constantly eating, and there were so many people that were on scooters and so many people in wheelchairs and so many people that looked so uncomfortable and they just seemed so tired. And, I feel for them, right? I really feel for them because when you're not feeling good, you want something to comfort you. And we've been trained, we've been socially hypnotized to turn to food when we don't feel good. And then we turn to that food or we turn to alcohol. And then what happens is we end up feeling worse. We flood our body with a bunch of sugar and a bunch of bread, and it creates all kinds of acid, which creates inflammation inside of us. And inflammation is the foundation of illness and disease and dis-ease, right? And so we're turning to the things because we've been taught to do this. We're turning to foods that are actually causing us to feel worse. And then we get stuck in this pattern because it's like, it gives me a good feeling in the moment, even though I know it's bad for me. And so I figured at least I'm going to feel good for a moment. At least I can feel good for these few moments that I'm chewing on whatever it is that I'm chewing. And that's why we keep going back to it. Because your unconscious mind wants an escape. It wants some adventure. It wants a distraction. It wants a reward, a treat. It wants to feel better. And so it thinks that that food's going to make you feel better. And then we go to it. And then we end up feeling tired. Then we emotionally beat up on ourselves. Why did I do that? I knew I shouldn't have done that. Now I'm tired. Now I'm frustrated. Now, I'm farther away from my weight loss goals than I was before. And then we just emotionally beat up on ourselves to the point where we get tired of feeling bad. And then we think, I got an idea. I'm going to go eat something. And it's this horrible, vicious cycle, right? Where all of a sudden we find ourselves going round and round in this terrible cycle of, wanting to feel good and then turning to things that don't make us feel good. And then, feeling frustrated. So our brain says, well, I know what'll make you feel good. And then we just go right back to it again. And it's heartbreaking. But here's the deal. There's a magic spell that can get you out of it. Right? And I wish it was just abracadabra, right? And all of a sudden we're thin and healthy and full of energy, but it's not. It's a magic spell that has to do with self-love. It has to do with taking care of ourselves in a whole new way, because most of us are simply not taking care of ourselves. And there's a variety of reasons and excuses for why that is. We don't have time. I don't feel good about myself. I've got a crazy schedule. I'm taking care of everybody else, right? There's always a reason why we're not able to make ourselves a priority. And that's because we have these limiting beliefs that make us feel like taking care of ourselves is somehow wrong or somehow bad or it's sinful. We got all these crazy nonsense ideas for why we can't take care of ourselves. And you have to take care of yourself. You've got to make yourself a priority if you're going to experience any kind of breakthrough in your life. If you do not make time for yourself, there won't be time for yourself. If I didn't make time to do this video right now, this video would never happen because I've got so many things going on and a million excuses for why this never could have happened. But I got intentional and decided that I'm going to make it happen. I don't have time for this. I'm making time for this. And that's why it's happening. And the same is true for you. So when I talk about self-love, what I've learned, see, I've been helping people to create inner peace and prosperity with their health, their happiness, their marriages, the relationships they have with themselves, with their confidence. People don't come in for inner peace and prosperity. They come in because they're suffering from anxiety. They come in because they've tried to lose 50, 100, 150 pounds for 30 years, 40 years sometimes, and they've never been able to do it. They come in because they're smoking or addicted to weed or opioids or, other, harder drugs, and they're looking for a way out. They come in because they have chronic insomnia or because they have aches and pains and the doctors don't know what it is. And so they keep making up these terms, which if you look it up, it just says, I don't know what this is, right? It's just some kind of pain that you have. And so they give you pills for it. And then the pills just give you side effects and nothing really helps. And then we get depressed. So then people come in because they're depressed. And we're always trying to change our external things, right? If it was, the situation was different, if my marriage was different, if I had more money, if I was 50 pounds thinner, then everything would be better. I have found that that is not the case. People will divorce their spouse, go marry someone else, and have the same exact problems. I've had clients who lost 50 pounds, 75 pounds, and then discovered that they were still unhappy because they thought if I just was thin, then I'd be happy, all my problems would be solved. And guess what? It doesn't happen, right? And then they get really depressed. It's a real mind mess, when all of a sudden you think that's going to give it to you and that's going to create the happiness, and then it doesn't. What creates happiness is loving and accepting yourself and resolving your head trash. That's really what it is. As adults, we have absorbed a whole bunch of limiting beliefs from the people who raised us and from the environment that we grew up in. And as an adult, we have to have a garage sale and take a look at the beliefs that are in our head and realize, is this serving me? And should I reinforce it? Or is it junk? And should I throw it out? And when you do that, that transforms your life in ways that are magical. I mean, I've seen magical breakthroughs, one after another, and it didn't matter what presenting symptom brought people or caused people. When I started taking people through these exercises that caused them to upgrade their beliefs, to start going from I'm not worthy to I am worthy, that goes from, I'm not good enough to I am good enough. When we started to take a look at beliefs where it's selfish to take care of yourself, you should always be taking care of others, to no, you've got to take care of yourself first so you have something to offer others. See, I have a 12-year-old son, Aiden, and he said, Dad, I think my glass might be half empty. And I said, son, there's no such thing as half anything. You have an abundant glass, and your glass is refillable, right? Your goal is to fill yourself up. And then when you feel full and satisfied, then you can share the abundance that you have with those around you. Because once you feel good, then the next way to feel good is to help others feel good. And that's what contribution is all about. And so you fill yourself up first so that then you have something to fill others up with. But most of the time, we're not filling ourselves up with anything. What we're doing is filling ourselves up with worry and anxiety and stress. We're so focused on what we don't have, what we don't like, what we don't want, what's making us frustrated, who's making us frustrated, right? And we're not focusing on what we do want. And because we're focusing more on what we don't want, that's why we keep getting more of it. I don't understand why I keep procrastinating. Well, what do you want? Well, I want to stop procrastinating. Yeah, but what do you want? Well, I want to stop putting things off. See, your mind hears is procrastinate and put things off. What you really want is, I'm accomplishing things. I'm getting things done. I'm organized. I'm following through. Now your mind is hearing getting things done, organized, following through. And I said it present tense, not I want to be organized, because your subconscious mind will say, okay, that's what you want. Cool. But you're not going to get it, right? But if you say, I am organized, and you say it over and over, the genie that lives in your brain will hear it enough times and say, as you wish. And then all of a sudden, you'll start to feel more organized. And then you'll start to feel like you have momentum, and then you'll start taking action, and then it'll start to happen. And then you'll feel excited about it, and you'll have more momentum, and then it'll keep happening. And then all of a sudden, you have the results you're looking for. But that is not how most people do it. In their heads, most people are focusing on more of it. What you focus on expands. So it's so important for you to focus on what you want so that you have more of it. And whatever you focus on, you move towards, right? When you're driving a car, they say, make sure that you're keeping your eyes on the road, because your hands are going to follow your eyes, right? So if you look over here, the wheel goes with you. That's why a lot of people drive off the road. They see something and their hands go right with them, right? And as a result, the car veers off in that direction. So you've got to make sure that you are focusing on what you want and that you're taking a look at the beliefs that you have and you're saying, you know what? I need to fill my cup up first instead of feeling run down, bored, unhappy, frustrated. Because when we do that, you know what happens? We start reviewing our past. We start looking in the past and we start thinking about all of these choices that we should have made, that we shouldn't have done. And we look back with hindsight 2020 vision and we start judging ourselves. And then people get really depressed or feel guilty or feel bad or feel stuck. Oh, I should have just done it totally different. Jumping into the past is a mistake. Use your past to learn from it. And only jump into the future if you're setting a goal so that you have something to aim towards. The rest of your time should be focused on what are you doing in the present moment? What are you telling yourself right now? What are you focusing on? How are you causing yourself to feel? You're not just feeling the way that you're feeling right now by accident. You're feeling the way that you feel because of what you're telling yourself about your situation, what you're telling yourself about your life and your circumstances. You determine how you feel, not your situation. You can show up any way you want. It's not what shows up, it's how you show up. So a lot of times people are walking around with this empty cup saying, fill me up, fill me up, fill me up. And then people don't respond the way that you want them to. And then we just get more frustrated and we start yelling and blaming, or we shove it all down and get sick, or we become passive aggressive. And all of those things keep us from having more of what we want. And so the way to get out of all of that is to pay attention to how you're talking to yourselves. And even beyond that, you got to go deep into your unconscious mind and find the beliefs that are ruling your day. You have a set of beliefs, a set of life rules about how you feel about yourself, others, the world around you. And those life rules are determining how you're looking at life, what you're focusing on, what you're noticing, how you're feeling, how you're behaving, what choices you're making, whether you follow through or not, right? It's making all of those decisions for you. And here's the scariest part. It's doing 80% of it without your conscious input, which means your brain is on autopilot and it's making most of these decisions without your conscious awareness, which is insane, right? So we want to make sure that we're in control. We want to make sure that we're in charge. We want to make sure that we are pulling our own strings. And to do that, you've got to go figure out what your beliefs are. And so I've spent 3 decades learning how to uncover beliefs and showing people how to figure out what their beliefs are and how to upgrade them. And I am 100% convinced that if you want to make a breakthrough in your life, start with your beliefs. Success is an inside job. And if you want big results that are sustainable, where you get the results and you get to keep those results and it becomes who you are, right? So many people, they lose weight and they're so afraid they're going to fall off the wagon and gain it all back. Not my clients. My clients are like, this is who I am. There's no going back because I'm not that person anymore. I'm so much happier and so much more peaceful that I could never go back to that old way because I don't even think that way anymore. And that's when you get real sustainable results. So for this, for the rest of this video, what I want to do is I want to tell you about a webinar that I have that's going on tomorrow. Okay. Now I'm going to have the replay as well. So I want you to make sure that you check this out because for tomorrow night, it's going to be Thursday, January 9th. I am doing a special webinar called How to Magically Lose Weight Without Dieting, without exercise boot camps and strenuous exercise routines, and without buying expensive supplements or getting on the new keto diet or the new Atkins diet or the new CBD oil diet or, you know, whatever craze they come out with next. Because it all ends up being the same thing. It's somebody's just trying to sell you a pill, a potion, an oil, or something else, right? But what you really need to do if you're going to have a breakthrough is change your beliefs. That is where it's at. The more you keep focusing on trying to change your external environment and you don't focus on your internal environment, the more you're never going to get the results that you could. And you have potential and magic inside of you that is mind-blowing. You have so much inside of you that you haven't even tapped into yet. And this is how you do it. And so we want to make sure that we are, it's like having a really fast race car. right? A really fast race car, and you put all your money into the race car and none of your money into the driver. So the driver gets in the car, can't handle the power, and runs it right into the wall. And then boom, all that money wasted, right? So instead, you train the driver. Then you can get the car fast, but you have to train the driver. And your mind is the driver of your life. And so we've got to make sure that we upgrade those beliefs. So I've got this webinar tomorrow, and it's how to magically lose weight without dieting or exercise or buying expensive supplements. And it's for people who are 50 years or older. Now, if you're younger than that, you can join us. But I'm going after the people who have never gotten results any other way. That's who I want to serve. The people who have, maybe they're 50 years old, 60 years old, you've never been able to lose weight any other way. You've tried every diet out there from way back. You've been on everything. You've swallowed every pill. You did everything, and nothing has got you thinner. Those are the people that I've had the biggest breakthroughs with, because we go and we do the inner magic work, the inner peace work. I call it inner peace weight loss, right? And that's what it is. You create a sense of inner peace by upgrading your beliefs, and that's where the magic happens. That's the magic spell. The magic spell is I fully love and accept myself, no matter what. That's the magic spell. I fully love and accept myself, no matter what. And when you start to really feel that, not just say it, but when you really feel it, it is a game changer. It changes everything. I've seen it thousands of times because I've done over 15,000 individual weight loss sessions, and that does not include all the groups that I facilitated for years. So I have seen this firsthand with so many people from every background, with every medical condition, everything that's going on, and I've also watched the results that they've gotten. I've watched 90-year-olds drop 12 pounds. I've watched people in wheelchairs get thinner. I've watched people who had no metabolism, or their hormones were out of whack, or they were type 2 diabetics, and they were able to all lose weight and get healthier by creating more inner peace. And that is something that's so powerful, and it's really easy to do when you know how. When you don't know how, it feels impossible. That's why I've been working at this for so long. I had a lot more hair when I started this, okay? And so it's taken me a long time, and it's been an obsession of mine of learning how to help people at the highest level and get the results as fast as possible, and results that are going to stick, right? That are going to be sustainable. And so if you want to learn some more about what I've learned, I'm going to be sharing some of the most amazing secrets about how to drop weight and keep it off in a way that's fun and easy. Yes, I said weight loss can be fun and easy. I know, that's crazy. Tim's nuts, right? But I'm telling you, this is how you do it. The more fun you have, the more success you have, right? Because the more pleasure you associate to an activity, the more you're going to do it. So we have to do that on purpose. Most people, when they think of weight loss, they associate massive pain to it, which is why they don't do it. I know what to do. I just can't get myself to do it. That's because you associate so much pain to it. Oh, I can't eat my favorite foods. I'm feeling deprived. And then all of a sudden, we're jumping on, eating that crap again, and then beating up on ourselves, and we're right back in the circle of negativity. I call it the habit of self-sabotage, right? The habit of diet sabotage. You shouldn't do anything where the first 3 letters spell die. So let's not diet anymore. In fact, for our 2020 vision, right? For our future, our 2020 vision, we're going to rebel against dieting. We're not going to do any of the diet stuff that everybody's telling us, because diets have a 99% failure rate. Do not follow the crowd if you want to have huge success. If you want inner peace, if you want more money, if you want better relationships, if you want better health, if you want more energy, do not listen to what everybody else is saying and doing, because everybody else is tired and sick and divorced and unhappy, right? And so we want to make sure that we are not following the crowd, that we're going after the ones that seem like they're, going to their own path. And why are you doing that? I had a client I was working with today, fabulous. And she said, every time I tell them these things that I'm doing, they look at me like I'm crazy and like, why are you doing that? And I said, you're on the right, doing what you're doing. You are on the right track, because they are not doing that. They're going to go back to, they're doing what everybody else is doing. I have 2 rules. Don't learn how to be happy from someone who isn't, and don't learn how to be wealthy from someone who's broke. Okay. And so most of the time when people are like, why are you doing that? And they're all judgmental, they're also unhealthy or sick or not feeling good or complaining all the time, or they're just not in a good place. You do not want to follow that advice. You want to make sure that you're following advice from the people who are happy and successful and who have what you want, right? Like when I talk to people about doing fitness, I'm like, don't hang out with other people that are where you're at. Hang out with the people that are already having fun with their fitness. Hang out with the people that are already doing the stuff that you want to do, because it'll rub off on you and they'll pull you along, where other people will sabotage you and hold you back, right? Have you ever decided you were going to go exercise with someone? You set up the class time, you were ready to go, and then 10 minutes before they bail or they don't even show up, right? And then what happens? Most of the time you don't go either. And then you're all mad at them. Don't be mad at them. Just avoid the self-sabotage. Instead, focus on, I'm going to hang out with people who already like this, who already want to do this, who already think this way. We become your new tribe, right? We become your new community of achievers. That's why I'm always calling us in our group, in our community, achievers, because achievers are people who make things happen. We're a people that get things done, right? We are people that are able to set a goal and make that goal come true. And if you want to be a part of that, welcome. We're here with our hands wide open, right? There's no catches. We're going to hold you accountable, right? But the way that we hold you accountable is by upgrading your beliefs, getting rid of the head trash, so that all of a sudden you hold your feels good, because it's way more fun than what you were doing before. It feels better. And that's what causes your brain to go, I want more of this, right? It creates natural, sustainable momentum. And that's where it's at. And so anyway, so I'm doing this webinar tomorrow. It's the links over there in the notes, so you can register for it. It's at 8 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. Central. 5 p.m. West Coast time, right? So if you're in LA, then you can check that out. If you can't make it for the live training, register anyway. I'm going to record it. I'm going to send you the replay so you can watch it on your own time. And then I am putting together a live coaching program with people. It's an 8-week program. And I'll tell you about that at the end of it if you're interested, because every time I talk to somebody, they say, Tim, I love your do-it-yourself programs, but I want the live interaction. I want the support from others, or I need the live coaching and live feedback. And so the best way to do that, if we don't live in the same state, is to do it like this, right? Of course, we would do it through Zoom. So it's very simple, easy software. So we can literally, you can join me on your phone, right? Or through your laptop. It's super simple, super easy. And then that way we can have coaching sessions and I can personally help you to be able to create the results that you're looking for, because I've already done all the work. I've already done all the recipes. Now, you can spend the next 30 years figuring this out with tens of thousands of people, or you just be a part of our group and I'll share what I've learned because I've already done it, right? I've already done all the hard labor for you. And I figured out the right combinations and the right suggestions, the right magic spells to be able to influence you at that unconscious level, because that's where the biggest breakthroughs occur. So with that said, if you have any questions about anything, if there's any questions, if you're watching this video and it's not live and you have questions, just go ahead and put something in the comments box. Otherwise, register tomorrow for this event, and then you'll be glad you did. Okay, so thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Make your life a sure success. Talk to you soon. Bye.